You deserve to be with people who appreciate you, not because of where you come from, but just because the God that is has called you forth out of the best that is, so that you might experience the good that is. That's good news. And watch this. You can't earn it, you can't fake it, you can't take it, and you can't make it. It's given to you out of the natural grace that is yours just because. I'm telling you, it's good to have a God who doesn't need you to get it right to know that you're right. Just because. How phenomenal is that? Like, God doesn't even need you to know that health is your birthright to make you in a way that designates you to experience health in every way. You can be from the wrong side of the tracks and still have the right amount of money in your bank account. Low education, no education, for show education doesn't make you what you are, because just because you were called forth from the best to be the best. Ah, man, that's good news. That's good news. If you don't get anything else today, get just because. If you don't get anything else, get just because, right? I got some stuff here, but see, it's just this, it's this because. It's this because. See, if it's just, then it's right. If it's just, it's right. So when we say just because, we could really say it's right. You with me? And if you add to that just ice, you would see justice. Is that right? And we know that when there is justice, everything works fair and accordingly. And so it's always right and fair for you to experience the best, not because, but just because. And then if we were to just take a couple quick seconds to look at that because, the cause only exists after the be. See, right? So the causative part comes after the being part. I don't know if you're getting it. The causation only comes after that which caused it to be. So if there is a cause and the cause is first, it's only first after it comes what already be. So the because comes after the cause. And if you know, like I know, there is really only one cause. And he caused the earth to come after itself. There is only one cause, and they call that cause Alpha and Omega. They call that one cause that caused the cause to be beginning and end. So when you understand that you are taken care of both in the beginning, in the end, and in everything in between, and you're taken care of just because, what you tripping about? If you win before the game starts, you can't lose. And it's all just we're confused about who we are and whose we are. We got it twisted. We got it messed up. We got it mixed up. We don't realize that it has to work out for our good. All things, somewhere in here it says, all things work together for the good of those who love. Do you love? All things work together for the good of those who love the bee. Right? All things work together for the good of those who love the bee that causes it to be. And so if all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord, Sometimes we call it the law. If all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord and who are called according to his purpose. Can I let you in on a secret? There is nobody in this room who was not called according to his purpose. There is not a single solitary soul present here or out there who was not called according to his purpose. See, here is where we get it twisted. We think we purposed ourselves. You didn't purpose yourself, you only repurposed yourself. Right? It's like taking a couch and putting it on a different wall in the room. It ain't a new couch. It's just moved. If you take the fabric off the pillows and you change it to somewhere else, it's new fabric but the same pillow. Am I right about it? And so what we have to remember is that we showed up for a definite and specific purpose. And it's when we get off purpose that we find ourselves experiencing some other causes. And so we say that we believe that it is God's will that every individual on the face of this earth should live a healthy, happy, and prosperous life. We believe that every individual on the face of this earth should live a healthy, happy, and prosperous life. We believe that because we recognize that because is the cause. And when we recognize for others what we desire for ourselves, we bring ourselves back into alignment with the only thing that is. The good that we desire for ourselves is the good that we have to desire for our neighbors. I'm going somewhere. But, say but. But sometimes, because of where we've been and what we've been through, we convince ourselves that we do not deserve to be happy. Now, I know it seems irrational that there could be someone in this room who woke up in their right mind, who was in control of all of their faculties and who was able to move about their day, but who, for whatever reason, is not wanting to be happy. It might seem irrational, but you know how you can tell that some people don't want to be happy? They're not happy. You thought I had a real deep answer? No, it's not that deep. It's actually pretty simple when we understand the cause, right? Because the consciousness that creates the thing lets you know what we want. And so when we no longer want it, we don't change the relationship, we change the cause. Right? AJ, sometimes I think I'm going to be better once she changes or once he changes. Right? Or I'm going to be better and happy. I'll be happy when I get the new job. I'm going to be happy when I retire. I'm going to be happy when I get new customers. I'm going to be happy when I finish my degree. I'm going to be happy when the kids are gone. Putting your happiness, I got an amen on when the kids are gone, huh? You was doing all right, Pastor, until you went to that one right there. You can skip all the rest of that. How do we get happiness in the midst of the kids being there? Because we want them gone. I got you. I listen, I'm not mad. If I can I have a quick moment of testimony? Sylvia and I go to places like Target and Walmart and Walgreens Any place where they sell school supplies, we go and we sit in our car with our air conditioning on and we mock the parents who still have to buy school supplies for their children. Oh, we talk about y'all bad because we don't have to do that no more. Even for our godchildren that we buy school supplies for, we send them those supplies and we send them, please just bear with me. We had one of our godchildren was living with us. He graduated with my son. He was living with us for the summer while he was at home. We sent that joker back to Northern early. We gave him some money, we packed his stuff up, and we sent him out of that house. And so I do get it when you say happiness can come when they're gone. I just also want to challenge you to stop putting your happiness on layaway. Because if you can be happy when they're gone, you can be happy when they're there. But one of the things that we have to come to ask ourselves and be really clear on is, do we believe we have a right to be happy? And can you find it okay to be happy if it also means that you can't make someone else happy? See, for some of us, the challenge in experiencing our own happiness comes because we have this insatiable desire to make other people happy. But let me just drop this on you. You don't have enough power to change someone else's unhappiness pattern. If someone is committed to living out being happy on the negative side of life, what you will find is that they will make you sad before you make them happy. And so you just don't have enough power within you to change somebody else's unhappiness pattern. But here is the good news. You got more than enough power to walk and create and develop a happiness pattern that changes you from the inside out. Are you with me? And so I really want to, if you have your book, Guidelines for a Master. Anybody got your book? You got your book? Let me see it. Let me see your book. That's a few of y'all. That's a couple. That's about half. That's about half. All right, close to half. Close to half. I need you to have this. Can you get this? You got this? All right, bring it next week. At least for the next couple weeks, we're working from this book. For those of you who have, turn to page 9 for me. Turn to page 9. When we talk about guidelines for a master, when we talked about it, when we've taught it before, we talk about it from the standpoint of how we take a metaphysical approach to transforming our life, world, and affairs. Is that right? And so here on page 9, you see the top of that second paragraph, Guidelines for a Master. Read that with me. Guidelines for a Master approaches the subject of happiness from, we believe that happiness consists of the conscious effort to accomplish our goals and to grow as individuals. Happiness does not have to be, it is. So you don't have to create what you already have. All you have to do is unlock and unleash what you already have. Happiness is already within you. And so this fanciful notion that you will be happy when something else happens means that you are connecting your ability to be happy in the moment to something that you're hoping you are predicting correctly in the future. But I am of the mindset that God is a present help in times of need. That means when my mind is confused, I can still connect to God and be happy in the moment. That means when my emotions are upset, I can reconnect myself to the source and walk in happiness because happiness is my birthright. In the moment, I can change my mind and change what I am feeling in order to shift what what's happening in me. Why is that important? It's important because it's done unto us as we believe. It's done unto us as we believe. But watch this. Not only is it done unto you as you believe, it's also done within you as you believe. So the beliefs that we hold are not just happening unto us, it's also happening within us. This is critical because what you believe will dictate the effort that you give to the work that you say you want to experience as you transform your life, world, and affairs. Let me say it to you this way. If you don't believe that you can be better, you won't work hard to get better. If you don't believe that you have the power to experience increase in every good way, you will give just a little bit of effort, just enough to motor yourself out of inactivity. And if you only have a little bit of motivation, that means you have even less enthusiasm. You walking with me? And those whose enthusiasm wanes or diminishes are on their way back to their old complaints. So if you have no enthusiasm for your happiness, for your mastery, then you will find yourself tomorrow right where you are today, with all of the power available to you to shift yourself into a new experience right here and right now. Does that make sense? So as we approach happiness from a metaphysical perspective, say metaphysical perspective. As we approach happiness and mastery from the perspective of, when we say metaphysical, what do we mean? We mean that which is above and beyond. When we see it from above and beyond what is appearing, you have to be willing. You have to be willing. Say, I must be willing. I must be willing. Repeat after me. I must be willing to see it beyond how it appears. You have to be willing to see it beyond how it appears. If you cannot see it differently, you cannot bring it forth differently. So you have to be willing and able to see it beyond how it appears. The way you see it now is the way you saw it before it showed up. So when we're talking about mastery of self and happiness that is ours, recognize that in order to experience it, it's not just an emotional high. Say it's not just an emotional high. It's not just an emotional high. Turn it with me on page 10. See those last two sentences at the bottom of page 10? Happiness is a state of well-being that encompasses living a good life and experiencing a sense of deep satisfaction. Let me see your hand if that's a description that you want to have. Right? That's all of us. All of us want a state of well-being that encompasses living a good life. Who doesn't want a good life? I got a good life and I want more of a good life. You've got a good life, but I'm sure you're open to having more of a good life. You've got some good relationships. I imagine you're not close to better good relationships. You've got good health. But just that one little hitch in your giddy up, I imagine you'd be happy to get rid of that hitch. I know there's some folk in this room who got bread. But I imagine you'd also be open to open up a new bakery to cook up some more bread. So it's not that having what we have now is not okay. And do know that there is absolutely nothing wrong with having what you want. Jack Canfield told the story about attending this workshop. And he said, at this workshop, when they came into the room, the facilitator had them sit down at the desks. And at each desk, there was a notebook. And every notebook was a different color. And Jack Canfield said that before the session started, the facilitator said something that changed his life. She said, if the notebook that's on your desk is not the color you want, trade with somebody who has the color you want, because you deserve to have what you want out of life. How many of us go through life believing that we don't really deserve to have the happiness we say we desire? How many of us stay in situations, conditions, and circumstances that force us to compress ourselves back down to the size of when they knew you win? I love those conversations. I remember you win. I remember you back when. Remember when we used to? I'm like, no, I don't remember that. I blocked all of that out of my mind. I'm not on the then, I'm on the next. Right? Remember when we used to smoke? Oh, I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean to let Saints, I didn't mean to let that one out. They weren't necessarily talking to me, they were talking to my cousin. Me and my cousin, we spent a lot of time together. Redeemed and set me free. And just because He's God, oh my God, He knows I need some redemption. I used to love communion. Yeah, some of y'all, you missed it. But those of you who got it, you know what I'm talking about. So happiness is not just a feeling or an emotion. True happiness is not fleeting. True happiness is a state of mind. True happiness is a state of mind, and it is a state of mind that is connected to your sense of purpose and significance. In research, we say that when a result is significant, it means that that result did not happen by chance. It means that there is no chance that the result happened by chance, or that there is a very small chance that it happened by chance. So when we are talking about experiencing our purpose and living a life of significance, I am also suggesting that it means that you have to stop moving through your day by chance. Why move through your day by chance when you can move through your day by design? What if your pattern guaranteed that you would get what you wanted? What if your pattern or your paradigm ensured that where you start at means that if you follow this prescribed course, you will end at where you want to be? Because I submit to you, its information is excellent in that it forms us. But it's the action that you take that transforms us. So we know plenty, but we ain't doing nothing about what we know. Not you. Not you. But maybe somebody you know. Let's go to the bottom of page 11. See about midway through that last paragraph. See where it says, see through the limiting beliefs? Let's take that together, right? So as a matter of fact, let's start with using Bruce Leroy's at that paragraph. Using Bruce Leroy's Proverbs to explore the habits of happy people. Stop right there. How many of you know somebody who's happy? All right, that's good. That's good. Get more of those people in your circle. find more people who are doing more of what you want to do. If you want to be healthier, find more people who are exhibiting greater health. If you want to be happier, find more people who are living happier lives. If you want to be more prosperous, find more people who already are where you desire to be. Because if you continue on with what you have to know that what you will get will be more of what you have. And so if you need to stretch, you have to have people who can help you stretch. Does that make sense? So using Bruce Leroy's Proverbs to explore habits, say habits. Habits, say habits. Habits, say habits. So now a habit is something that becomes deeply ingrained, not because you do it once or twice. Right? If you do it once or twice, it will probably slide off the back of your consciousness in much the same way that water slides off the back of a duck. It's the kind of thing that you have to get deep down in your soul so that it can shift you out of your old paradigm and pattern and create a new paradigm and pattern. Does that make sense? So it provides you with 12 steps that are designed to help you see through the limiting beliefs that have prevented you from experiencing your best and highest self. If you do what? I need more than 6 of you all to say it. So let's say it together like we see it. If you choose to be happy and apply the concepts, this book will assist you on your journey to extreme happiness. So here's what I want to do before we go. Here's what I want to do before we go. I want to just give you 3 keys to work with. I want to give you 3 keys to work with. And this comes from page 13. Because everything that is made after the image of the Creator. Everything that is created is made in the image of the Creator. So everything that you have in your life is made in the image and after the likeness of the consciousness that created it. So if you want a shift in consciousness here, I want you to do these 3 things. First, recognize that you are a divine expression. Recognize that you are a divine expression. Recognize that you were born to be an original, so it means that you have to stop living as a copy. What you see other people doing may not fit your skill gift mix in any way, shape, or form. You can be inspired by it, but it doesn't mean you can adapt it just as it is to put it to use in your life, world, and affairs. Recognize that you are a divine expression, and as a divine expression, there is nothing about you that is left to chance. God has crafted you in such a way that everything you need, you already have. So stop waiting. Number 2, reclaim your birthright. Your birthright says that there is absolutely nothing wrong with having what you want. Nothing. How do you reclaim your birthright? You do 3 things. Put this in your notes. You desire what already is. Desire what already is. It's already the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. You don't have to convince God in your prayer that you deserve to be better off. God already knows that you deserve to experience a healthy, happy, prosperous life. Number 2, define what that means for you. If you don't give it definition, somebody else will. If you don't give yourself meaning, somebody else will. If you won't claim for yourself and craft for yourself what it means to be powerful and dynamic in the world, somebody will take it and put a label on you that calls you something other than what you are. Does that make sense? Number 3, decide and then take action. Decide and then take action. We have to remember that we are constantly being conditioned by forces that are trying to get us to see ourselves differently than what we are. But if you're committed to living a healthy, happy, and prosperous life, if you're committed to that, if you're committed to living a healthy, happy, and prosperous life, let me encourage you to do this one last thing. Stop settling for less than what you want. If you are committed to living a healthy, happy, and prosperous life, make a decision right here and right now. Make a commitment to yourself to no longer settle for less than what you want. Because if you will decide right here to stop settling for what you want, that decision alone will begin to interrupt the patterns and the conformity and the uniformity of your mindset that says you deserve less for any reason. If you will right now make a decision to stop settling for less, that very decision in and of itself can catapult you to more. You've got to be willing right here and right now to make a decision that you will stop settling for less. I don't care where you come from. I don't care what you know. I don't care what's around you. I don't care who believes in you. I don't care who doubts you. I don't care who says you can't do it. I don't care what they said is or isn't possible. If you make a decision right here and right now to stop settling for less than what you want, that decision will open up the possibilities and the windows of heaven, and opportunity can open up for you. But God can't give you something that you're closed to. It takes the power of your agreement with God. And if the Spirit of God is trying to pull you up, that's not the time to settle down. When the Spirit of God is trying to lift you up, that's not the time to lay down. When the Spirit of God is trying to bring you up, that's not the time to chill and lay down. That's the time to move with how God is wanting to move you, because there's always something greater in store for you. Don't let the excuse about your age convince you to believe that your best days are behind you. I got news for you. God can do more in your latter years than he did in your former. Don't let your background be a hindrance to you. Maybe you were a liar, a thief, and a cheat, but right here and right now, if you decide to no longer settle, you can be transformed in mind, purified in heart, and create a new experience for yourself. Your decision to not settle shifts the atmosphere in your home. If you won't settle for being disrupted, you can have peace. Because God is moving in a mighty way. And if you will go with the move, you will find that you just ride the flow of the rising tide. And when the tide rises, it rises all ships. And so if you're ready to stop settling, and you're ready for a new experience, and you're ready for a new you, the you who was called forth to be a happy master, if you're ready to live life as God's masterpiece, don't settle for being less than your very best. God bless you. Don't settle. 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 The appearances might be saying one thing. Don't settle. Don't settle. Stay grounded in your faith. Don't settle. Continue to believe. Don't settle. Don't settle. Don't settle. Don't settle. Don't settle. Don't settle. If you won't settle, it'll interrupt the consciousness that keeps that thing in place. Don't settle. And once you interrupt it, then I want you to disrupt it. By disrupt it, I mean take it apart in such a way that when you run into a tough spot, you don't go back to the easy space of putting it back together. Disrupt that thing, dismantle that thing, take that thing apart so that it can have no space in your soul consciousness. Disrupt it, interrupt it, let it go, don't settle. I'm telling you, there is more for you right here and right now. It's nonsense about a yesterday God. I know a God who has manna for today, not just yesterday.